Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Friday, September 2nd, 2016. In both the Lynn life and the Jamie body mind, we still have child souls from the smaller subatomic, and of course still a fair amount of interference from above.
That's true.
So in times like this, what's important for us to do is to have our actions make sense. In other words, to go with what's been referred to as game theory. And somebody's asking what game theory would say that we work with today, and it would say that we would continue to work with what we've been working with all morning so far. Somebody in a very large dimension, who I believe to be in a physical dimension,
That's true.
Decided overnight that he no longer cares what's true. He just wants to take care of his dimension and protect his dimension from damage by other dimensions, which we understand, and we're not looking down our noses at him for, because many of us have covered up portals with the identical philosophy.
That's true.
And it's an unfortunate choice that he's making for himself, but it's okay. What's relevant is that he's refusing to let go of the top of the Search for Truth pillar, so we have to relocate. And we have to stretch longer and kind of lean back and to one side and move beyond him. That's what we've been working with so far today, and it seems that that's what we would continue for the formally videoed portions of today's efforts, but we could be wrong. The work could take a different turn, and as always, our foundational intention is to do what is ours to do right now in all dimensions, to manifest the divine plan, all of the data showing that we can only do that for the smaller subatomic. With that, the formally videoed portions of today's efforts begin. All of us who really want to know what's actually going on, the Search for Truth Central Axis, all others flung away. It's really interesting. My attention is brought to the bottom end of the Search for Truth pillar, not the top end. And I'm becoming aware of a meeting that's going on very deep down there in what I would say is solid lies, maybe not coagulated lies.
That's true.
So maybe solid is an incorrect term, but it's a very thick, tarry, viscous substance.
That's true.
Lies that don't move easily. How about that?
That's true.
Sticky lies.
Hard to clean.
Yeah, sticky lies. We're in a dimension of sticky lies. And there's a meeting by people who don't seem overtly disgusting, and they seem to want to do the right thing, kind of, sort of,
in a vague way.
In a vague, unspecified way that probably wouldn't exact any personal cost.
That's true.
Only if it's convenient to do the right thing, only if it costs an equal amount as doing the wrong thing will I do the right thing. But if the wrong thing is a penny cheaper, well, then I have to do the wrong thing. That's quote unquote. I have no choice but to do the wrong thing.
That's true.
Oh, this is kind of like the corporate charters that are simply profit-based, and there's unfortunately nothing in the corporate charter that says first to do no harm.
That's true.
And there was a movement back in the 80s to get that type of philosophy inserted into corporate charters nationwide, which this body host was a part of, but that got nowhere. That movement got no traction at all. And corporations now, they're just crazy for profit.
That's true.
They're burning Indonesia for profit.
That's true. It's like the shortest term thinking.
Yeah, the shortest possible term thinking.
That's true.
So these presences down there are just making the same kinds of decisions as we see being made in Earth and its environs boardrooms. Like, let's take what Exxon has been doing since the 1970s, when their own internal scientists came to the conclusion that fossil fuels needed to stay in the ground, that climate change devastating climate change would be the result of continued use of fossil fuels.
That's true.
And I think that happened before the Exxon Valdez disaster, and they're just continuing to press to this day for more and more and more and more and more and more and more fossil fuels burned, not less and less and less and less.
That's true.
So it's no different than what's happening here. What now? What is the right thing to do right now in order to manifest the divine plan for the smaller subatomic? What is the right thing to do right now? Somebody is showing Jacob Marley from the Christmas Carol.
That's true.
The dead guy.
That's true. The guy showing this has yucky smells coming off of him. He smells like cigarette smoke and stale pee.
Yeah, you're gross. But now, in order to manifest the divine plan for the smaller subatomic, what
no
now?
matter what anyone else does or doesn't do.
Thank you. Let's stretch much longer. And let's gently start to push off from that vibration of not wanting to know what's really going on, as if pushing off from a wall in swimming.
That's
or
true.
As if pushing away from a dock in boating.
That's true.
We are pushing off from them, but we are the ones who are moving.
That's true.
We see we're in an incorrect place where there is no wish to search for truth, and that's okay. There isn't anything we can do about that. It isn't okay for those people. They're racking up bad karma faster than fast.
That's true.
But it's their decision. It's a free will series of universes. And my attention is brought to that message about related souls.
Yes, that's true.
I see it. And I see some of those presences who are willing to be checkpoints in the refugee effort of getting these children out of the smaller subatomic dimensions.
That's true.
And layers. And I don't know why our attention is being brought to them, but let's bifurcate so that we thread the needle through the checkpoints just for the short term, and then we'll bifurcate for all of us who really want to know what's actually going on.
That's true.
And now with the needle threaded, let's bifurcate all of us who really want to know what's actually going on. To the Search for Truth Central Axis, all others flung away. Let's see if we can get much higher than that presence who is grabbing the top of the pillar and not letting go. It's interesting, I thought we were going to have to rip new portals open, but the portals are already there. They're already torn open.
That's true.
And there's a lot of sadness, people not wanting to have this guy make the choices he's making, but he is making the choices he's making.
That's true. The guy holding the top of the pillar in a larger physical dimension.
Thank you. He is making the choices he's making, so he's not the right person for this effort. Find his related soul. Maybe that could be what the point is, because we're getting these related soul messages.
That's true.
Is there a related soul? That feels like a misdirection.
No,
we're not
it
going to
doesn't
go
feel
down
good.
that line. We're just going to bifurcate. All of us who really want to know what's actually going on. To the Search for Truth Central Axis, all others flung away. And let's again just push off from the wall of not wanting to deal with reality.
That's true. I know what's been helpful in the past is to look up and ask if there's a pure child at a higher dimensional level who's willing to reach down and grab the top of the pillar.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Let's give it a go.
A baby who's willing to reach down, grab the top of the pillar. That's not a baby's hands. That's somebody who's got hair on their hands.
That's true. Too old. That doesn't feel
not
right.
even prepubescent.
No, it feels like an adult arm.
That's gross.
Pretending to be a baby arm.
Yes, in a baby suit.
That's true.
What now? In order to live this soul plan right here, what now? I do know that tuning can help, and we can tune to increase integrity in quality and quantity.
That's true.
For the entire search for truth pillar, and sometimes that can help to unstick us in these kinds of sticky situations.
That's true.
Let's tune to increase integrity in quality and quantity. All the way up and down the search for truth pillar, the search for truth central axis. That helps.
That's true.
How about bifurcating all of us who intend to upgrade our own personal integrity levels to the search for truth central axis, all others flung away. And there's like discussion of, well, what if it costs more to do that? Assume it will. Assume it will cost more. Assume you'll pay a very high price.
That's true.
All of us who intend to upgrade our personal standards of integrity, our personal integrity levels, our personal thoughts, words, and deeds in terms of integrity to the search for truth central axis, all others flung away. There is an adult walking over to the top of the pillar that looks kind of like a limp hose on the floor, like a garden hose with no flow through it.
That's true.
And not even a garden hose. It's just limp. It doesn't have any flow through it. I see he's pointing out to me by his actions that there's not adequate upward rising earth energy. There's not adequate refugee flow from the smaller subatomic. Okay, good point. We can pump up a bulb syringe from that layer where those meetings are occurring, call up the children from the smaller subatomic who really want to know what's actually going on. Whoo-hoo! To come through us. And straight up.
To a consistent
source of significantly higher vibrations. Keep going for a consistent source of significantly higher vibrations. And again, I see all those checkpoints, all those cabins with the light in the window.
That's true, in higher and higher dimensions.
Yeah, higher and higher dimensions. And to say to the kids, don't get stuck there. Those are good people, they are, but they're a little bit off the central axis, every single one of them, and there might be good reasons. We're not looking down our nose at them. They're really providing a significant service to spirit.
That's true.
But to keep going, it looks kind of like a shoelace that goes first to one side and then the other, and first to one side and then the other.
That's true.
Now let's straighten the pillar. Zoom, zoom. It really does need to be straight. Light doesn't bend around corners.
That's true.
We need this straight. I'm sorry. We need it straight. Push off from that wall and straighten up. We can do it ourselves.
That's true.
We continue to sight up the search for truth central axis, looking for a consistent source of significantly higher vibration.
That's true.
Wrapping the work saying to the closing process itself, do not let icky hands grab you. You have to take some responsibility. We won't be with you to protect you. We're propelling you upward. We're providing some oomph, but go for it like you intend to arrive where there is a consistent source of significantly higher vibration.
That's true.
I hear the song that never ends.
That's true. I feel totally out of breath. Do you also?
I don't know. Maybe I have no awareness of breath or...
Yeah.
There's always going to be some discomfort at this stage of the game.
Yes, it's true.
They don't understand what's going on any more than we did for so many years. They're trying to protect their dimension, and they're closing portals, and when the portals refuse to close, And let's face it, we're sending up some icky stuff.
That's true.
Because it needs to be cleared, because the dimensions are more interwoven than we want to acknowledge.
That's true.
Because the collapse has already occurred in many of the dimensions, strongly suggesting that for the rest of us the time is short.
That's true.
And so the thing to do is to ventilate the lies and come to some kind of space of truthfulness so we can interact effectively with the challenges of our times.
That's true.
But just like so many of us, they don't want to do that. And so this is
true.
just the challenge of this stage of the effort. Okay.
Okay.